Welcome everybody to our Monday night empowering program to where you can learn more about how to take charge of your health with using the adaptogenic herbal combinations from Solle Naturals. All excited to share what we have to share tonight. We're going to be talking about dealing or supporting your body when they're dealing with colds and flu, and the Solle Difference. Otherwise, what is it that is so unique that Solle brings to the table when we're challenged with these normal things that go around every year? Let's start off with hearing a little bit from Cheryl.
Hi everybody, Cheryl Gallagher, and Valerie asked me to talk a little bit about what Solle products that I choose when I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, and I will tell you that I've been using Solle products for 5 years or so now, and I am so much healthier because of them. I used to lose my voice every wintertime, and I would just hope that it was after Christmas so that I could still sing with the choir at Christmas time, all that that fun Christmas music you want to sing. And I would get a couple sinus infections each year and have a lot of just congestion and some drainage. Most of my sick always centers around here. I don't usually feel much sick, in the rest of the area, but I know when I'm on the Solle products, I have not lost my voice since I've been taking them, and I don't think I've had a sinus infection either, so that's wonderful. But once in a while, I will get a little, spill a little bit under the weather. So lots of times for me, it comes during the night. And so I'll wake up and I'll have a sort of scratchiness in my throat, just kind of, just doesn't feel quite right. I will get up out of bed. I will come into the kitchen and I will take 3 Solle Clear SIs, and then I'll go back to bed. And then when I wake up in the morning, voila, it's gone. No, it never developed into anything. And for me, that's fabulous, because then I just can go about my day and be normal. I am a very bad patient when I'm sick. I don't like to feel under the weather or sick. I like to operate full 100%, and because I'm a very busy person. Another thing I do, about a month ago, I ended up with a sore throat, and it came out of nowhere. I had no other symptoms, no drainage, no headache, no temperature, nothing, no congestion. It just right here in my sore throat, and my nodes, my lymph glands right here, they were so swollen, and it was really painful to swallow. It was not a fun experience. And I thought, well, what can I do? And so I doubled up my drinks, which I will also do anytime I'm feeling a little rundown. I'll double my Vital, double my Renew, and I'll do probably at least 3 to 4 Cinemates a day. I don't do Excel probably as much as I should, but I'll throw that in if I think I need it. And then I will use the oils as well. I will take the Compass blends. My favorites are the Comfort and the yellow one, Confidence. And I will rub those. And that's what I did when I had the swollen glands. I just rubbed it right on the glands right here and right here. And the relief, it felt really good. And I know it helped the healing, along with doubling up on my drinks, because I feel like I just want to give my body that extra boost it needs to fight off what's trying to get a hold of me. So those are, and then I will also diffuse the oils. I will use the Personal Spa oils for that. Sometimes I use all 4. Sometimes I just use I always use the Clarify, though. If I feel like it's sickness I'm trying to combat, I'll always add in the Clarify and the Lift, usually, for sure. And then the others, if I think I need them in there. But those are the main things that I go to when I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, and they always come through for me. I have not had to go to the doctor for being sick, honestly, since I've been on the Solle. So that's wonderful. Have a great night, ladies. Bye.
So one of the things I love, and you guys will notice, and if you haven't already noticed, an underlying theme with a lot of the people with Solle, especially the ones that I've taught, is as they've learned, they listen to their body, they jump on things immediately when it happens, and they're aware of what they do and don't need. And the body will tell you if you listen. And when they jump on this fast, because of the foundation that we've been able to build with these products, they get over things so quickly. So thank you, Cheryl, for sharing. So a lot of people get into this argument and they're afraid of the germ. They're afraid of being around someone who's sick. And there was a lot of let's just say that I was taught differently. And what I have seen, I think, proves out. And that is, depending on how healthy your body is, or your environment, or the pH of your body, however you want to look at it, you are not as apt to catch something if your environment is stronger and more healthy. For instance, let's look at these two fish bowls. Which fish do you think is going to be more susceptible to dis-ease? Which fish do you think is going to have more longevity? Which fish do you think is going to be happier? Well, think of it, that water also is our body or our environment. I really am not personally concerned about catching illness because, or it could descending on me so fast that I don't have a chance to get on top of it, because I try and keep my environment more idealistic or closer to what we see in the fishbowl with the clear water. Otherwise, I have set that foundation to where if I notice something starting to be off, I have an opportunity to ward it off. Now, here's the difference. Let's simplify this even more. Let's say the person with the dirty fish tank is a person who's eating M&Ms all the time and drinking pop and high stress, and they have lots of toxins in their environment, and they're very, very fatigued. Is that person going to be aware the minute their body starts being to go downhill? No, they won't be able to get the message because they already don't feel good. Their filters are congested. Even their awarenesses are so, they're just out of touch with their body. And what we find is the more someone cleans up their health by challenging those stressors, environment, what they put in their body, and the Solle products play a huge role in this, we can see clearly or more clearly, and we can see something coming at us. We have that opportunity to ward it off, and voila, we can bounce out. And Solle products have really helped a lot of people do like Cheryl's talked about, that she hasn't been sick since she got on the Solle products. So the body also, as you guys have learned, does not make any mistakes. So when we get things like phlegm that is showing up, that doesn't really mean that the phlegm is not the issue. The phlegm is our body's response to move out the issue. This is a good response. We want that to be there so that the person can get better. I mean, it's doing what it needs to do. And same with a fever. A lot of people get very frustrated with a fever. And what I see is my body is doing its job. In fact, there's been points in the past where I've purposely built a fever up in my body with a ginger bath. Some of you know my infamous ginger bath that I would take to build that heat up so the body could basically take the virus or the bacteria and send it into the inferno and burn it up. So the body, when it builds a fever, it is doing its job. We don't want to necessarily stop the fever. Now, granted, we don't want it too high, but when the fever is doing what it's supposed to do, it's a very good thing. Same with a cough. A cough means the body's trying to move stuff out. It's giving it, using that respiratory, it's trying to move it out. Diarrhea, it's moving it out through the intestinal tract faster, and even vomiting. The body's going to take the shortest route to get things out. So remember, this is your body doing its job. It's giving you signs and symptoms. It's up to us to support it in the process. So if we have the phlegm, we're realizing, oh, there's an irritant in there. What do we do to challenge it? Solle Clear SI, fantastic for getting in to challenge, to move that irritant out, helping with that, to clarify, because it's in that clarify category, helping to move that out and helping the body to do its job. This slide, this idea, this concept really excites me. So to me, Solle has huge amounts of versatility. And the reason it has versatility is because the adaptogen component that's in it. Adaptogens really do give us that foundation. And so here's a quote from one of my favorite books here, and which basically is saying, and it's right here, the connection between stress and immunity. When our body gets stressed enough, it causes and creates a window of vulnerability, is what I call it, where it gets an opportunity for you to become more susceptible to getting the bacteria, getting the infection, getting the virus. But it's because the body is diverting its energy away from the immune system during stress, because it's, as it says, it's perceived as not essential for short-term survival, because it's going to take you to run away from the bear or deal with the argument that's in the room, things like that. Now, the key right over here, as in these adaptogens, why they make us more versatile with these products, is because the adaptogens support the body's ability to modulate its immune system. So they're immunomodulatory. And this is the best way I felt I could support that idea in explaining it. Homeostasis, or keeping the body in balance, the immune system in balance, allows that system to self-regulate and adjust the immune response to adapt to it rather than to not adapt to it. So this is what we want. Adaptogens are in every single one of the Solle products. By having these in on a daily basis, they're helping our body to support that foundation and either preventing that window of vulnerability from showing up, or it is so obvious when we have this show up that we come in with more adaptogens, support it, boom, it's out of there. So again, remember, adaptogens are, to me, the key that helps with the versatility that Solle products bring to the table. So let's see how Tammy Peterson uses these.
Hello, all my Solle peeps. How is everybody today? It is freezing in Houston. I just wanted to jump on. Val, thank you for having me. When it comes to when I'm feeling sick, I have a surefire way to make sure it doesn't go any further. I love, and I'll do this a lot of times at nighttime, I will open up 3 to 5 Solle Clear SIs, and I'll open it into either my Renew. If it's at bedtime, I'll put it in my Renew, and together it's so yummy. But if it's not at bedtime, I've got hibiscus tea in bulk, and I mix those two together, or I add it to peppermint tea. But there's something about opening them up and putting them in hot water that just does the trick. I almost feel immediately better. A lot of times my stuff starts in my ears and my glands, and it's almost like it just clears them up super quick. So anyway, that's what I've done. It's been a surefire way. If I'm really getting scared, I'm getting sick, I'll do it once or twice. That's not true, not once or twice. I'll do it every hour, like 3 every hour. I'll open them up and put into a hot cup of whatever I love to drink. Okay? I hope that helps everybody. Y'all have a good evening. Bye, and thank you, Val.
So I love that she is taking the Solle Clear SI, opening it up, which gets it in a hot liquid. It's going to bring it to our system faster and utilize seeing the powers that the Renew brings to the table with that restorative action. So it's helping the adrenals to get that extra support to challenge what's being thrown at it. And what she's talking about with using that hourly, that's what we call a loading dose or a therapeutic dose. And I've done things like that in the past, where I would take a small dosage, start with a larger dosage, and then take a small dosage every hour. And usually within 2 or 3 hours, 4 most, on top of it is gone, and then I can drop back and just take a final dose later on in the day. So excellent job. Thank you for sharing, Tammy. So the Compass blends, a lot of people will reach for more when they're ill or they carry them with them, and so they can immediately get in and use them. So I wanted to show kind of the ways that I personally use these, but there's many other ways. So when it comes to the confidence, like Tammy, I can get those clogged ears, and I can put the confidence right in front of my ear, right above the mandible or where the jaw connects, and that can drain the ears like within minutes for me. I also know that I can get that congestion in the lungs. The lungs is a weak point for me, and it literally feels like an elephant sitting on my chest. So that confidence is great for that for me. On the outsides of my on my neck for a sore throat and congested lymph. The comfort also I will add for the heavy lungs, feeling that sore throat or a cough. And I like the comfort anyway because it helps me with and most people with working as antiviral, which they all will, but we've got some stronger antiviral properties in the essential oils that are in the comfort blend. Now, courage, a lot of people don't realize and necessarily think of this, but when their lower back starts to ache when they are ill, or they may not even be aware of it, that is the adrenals being tapped and tasked because it's having to get that extra boost to challenge what's going on. And often what I found that putting that courage over that area helps to support the adrenals. And think of it as getting courage to jump in and do the fight, the good fight, to help it get better. And then, of course, you guys know my love of putting things over the liver. And honestly, there's so many different things that we could be listing on these pages. This is why I brought different people in to share how they're doing stuff, because you can practically do something with every Solle product that we have. So we're just kind of picking some of the highlights. And then the contentment, also putting that over the adrenal, and then for a cough, because we're thinking about the calming properties. So this is what I have been doing, and that has been amazing. I was kind of referred to as the cough blaster. For those of you who don't know, golly, 23 years ago when we moved to Kansas, I got a cough that dropped into my lungs, into my chest, and it was months, could not get rid of it. And I had had walking pneumonia when I was a senior in high school. I mean, things just, and it took months to get rid of it then. And so whenever I get tasked too hard with my adrenals or stress-wise, then I feel that load on my chest. I have to get on top of it so fast, because if it drops into my chest, I've got a long time going with a cough. Well, everyone knows, obviously, it's been a little stressful the last week or two with things going on in life. And so I noticed the signs and symptoms, and I had 2 nights where I was not able to get enough sleep, as in about 3 or 4 hours of sleep, because of just things that were going on. And that's all it takes for me to push me over the edge. And I started with that cough in the morning, and I could feel it, and I knew it was settling in. So I've always talked about opening up the Solle Clear SI, putting it in it and making a tea out of it, and adding the Neuro IM. So then I thought, well, why don't I combine in the Cinnamate and a scoop that Infatuate, putting them all together, because that Infatuate is going to meld those fats in there, tied in with our catalytic herbs that are in these. So it'd be your things like your wasabi that's in the Solle Clear SI. It'd be things like your cinnamon, and there's a few others, but it melds and gets more activated with those fats. And then you're adding in the mushrooms. And I kid you guys not, I did 1 batch of that, 1 capsule each of the SI and the Neuro-EM, 1 pack of Cinnamate, 1 scoop of Infatuate, 8 ounces of boiling water poured over it. By that end of that first cup, my cough had backed off so significantly that I did 2 more doses throughout the day. It was gone. It did not settle in for 2 or 3 weeks. It was gone that fast. Now, I have enjoyed it so much that, because the stressors haven't backed off, and I've had a couple other nights where other things in life have not allowed me to get the amount of sleep that I normally would get, I've just been starting off my day with this. Game changer, guys. Absolute game changer. And it tastes amazing. I really love it. So I wanted to share that. That's my recipe for what I'm calling the cough blaster. So now what we're going to do is we are going to hear from Miss Krista Shepard. And so, Krista, if you can unmute yourself, I think I'm going to figure out a way to share the screen with you, but you can go ahead and I'm going to figure this out.
Okay, that's okay. So this is Grace, and so we're talking about those that don't know my story. She is our miracle and our blessing. And what's more important than, as a mom, than keeping our kids healthy, keeping their, so that when they go to school and everyone's like, oh, just wait, Krista. Well, I found Solle when Grace was 9 months old, and everyone's like, yeah, but she's going to daycare when she turned 1. She's going to catch it all, Krista. And I'm like, oh, but she's not, because I had a Solle family behind me that could help make sure I put the right nutrients and the right supplements into Grace's body. And Grace she asks every morning for her Vital. And what does Vital help with, Grace? Your what?
Your brain and your belly.
Your brain and your belly. So Grace is Vital every morning, and what she's drinking right now, she takes it, we add water to it as needed, is a half a Vital, a half a Renew, because who doesn't need the yuzu, and opens a capsule, because that's what we're supposed to do, right, Valerie? And a half a capsule of Clear. She also gets her probiotic every day. Open that capsule. I actually sprinkle it into homemade yogurt and go from there. And I've had daycare say to me, like, she's now, as she told some of you before we started recording, she's 3.5, she's 3 years, 9 months, actually, almost 10 months. She's just shy of 4. So she's almost 3 years into daycare. And she's only been sent home twice with fevers in that time. And both times she was getting molars. She hasn't been sent home. Oh, it'll be almost 2 years since she was sent home with a fever from school, which I let run its course because I reached out actually to, and we put, you guys don't, we can't get it right now, but I know you're on, Greg, and you know, for my 2 cents worth, that Clarify bar, we use that if there's any congestion. I'll put it like Vicks on her chest, on her back, on her feet, around her ears. Like, but she even knows, I love that kids are smart, right? She'll tell me what she wants. She's like, Mommy, where's my Vital? I'm not having a good, she'll go grab, when Valerie put the picture of the oils up, she goes, that one's my favorite, Mom. Right? Like she'll put them on her wrists, or she's like, I think they need to go on my feet today. She's just learned. I haven't told her. Yes, I tell her like Vital's good for her. But it's all about fueling her body and giving her body the best I don't want to say, well, I get protection, you know, enhance her immune system to its optimal performance is the way I look at it. So that is what she does. She gets probiotic, half a probiotic, half a Vital Renew, and Clear opened up, sprinkled into the water bottle. And like I said, she has been, so yeah, like I said, even daycare has commented that they've never seen a child as healthy as Grace, because they're used to sending kids home, because that's what happens when you go to school, to the point that pre-COVID, they actually were talking about letting me come in and present to the parents as they picked up their kids to say, like, did you know you can get this stuff? So anyway, so hopefully that door will open up again soon. And but that's my story. So anyway, so there you go.
Thank you, Krista and Grace. That was wonderful. Perfect. Thank you, dear. And I love it because I think it's very important that people realize how user-friendly for children these products are. And it is about that consistency, getting it in there, building that foundation. And, you know, it's awesome that it makes such a big difference. At the same time, there's so many people that need to know, because when we have things like our 3-year-old, that it stands out that she doesn't get sick, or, you know, stands out that Troy was able to come back from such a life-threatening issue, all these different things. Guys, this should be normal. Everyone should be able to have this opportunity. So anyhow, I'm excited about it. So now we're going to hear from Greg. So if Greg, whoops, let me get you back here.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good, Valerie. And I'm just going to do, I don't need to share screen. Yeah, if you send Grace down, Krista, she needs to stop by here too. Gracie's off. Do you ever call her Gracie?
We do once in a while.
Once in a while.
I always said I wouldn't,
Yeah.
but I catch myself doing, because she's like Mommy, and I'll go Gracie because it rhymes. But yeah, she's anxious, Greg, to get down there. So you know it's coming.
Darling, and she's awesome.
She knows.
She is such a blessed girl. She had her mom teach her these things that she gets to use her whole life. She doesn't have to wait till she's adult to figure them out.
Right.
And Valerie, I just second that. This should be normal, right? That's the reason we're here. That's kind of our mission, to make this normal, meaning people have these resources, and the opportunity for the same education. And I've learned so much tonight too. Although you changed the screen, I was listening so closely. You changed the screen before I could take a picture of your cough blaster. But I remember the recipe, but still. Okay. So what happens in our home? Valerie just asked me to share what I see happen in our home and what I do. So I wrote down the products that I can't keep when anybody's fighting, or a couple of people are fighting something, products I can't keep on hand because they use them so much. Soul Clear SI, yeah, because it's just, in so many ways. ProBio IQ goes fast. In our house, I think it's really more Donna. But one of our daughters too, it's one of her go-tos. She'll just ramp up a bunch of extra IQ and is able to get ahead of things really fast. I've just started with Power Cheat. when it gets a little too far, I didn't catch it quite soon enough and I need a boost, I've noticed Power Chi can like move me to a place where I can work on it instead of like it's too late, if that makes any sense. Because I've done what Valerie says. I've let the window stay open too long a couple of times. And then if it gets me to a certain point, you know, yeah, then it's going to be a much longer. So Power Chi is more of a recent one. And Valerie knows I've been experimenting these last few weeks with Power Chi and Neuro. And it's been just awesome. Because I was cheering that first testimonial because that was me, because I love choir music. I do love choir of all types. And it was me. What she said was me. I always hoped it wouldn't happen before seasons where a lot of the performing would happen. And so many times it would happen before and I'm either out or I can barely mouth the words. And I've been the same with her. I haven't had to miss a season since Soul. So anyway, those three really Neuro IM, and I, depending on what it is, I actually use Omnitox because of the activated, it all depends on what it is, but back to, so I'm just telling you some broad ones. I realize I'm not as helpful as some of you with recipes. I'm just kind of telling you our go-to products during times of more cold and flu. But let me just say, sometimes Omnitox is just the thing. I can't describe it any differently than when sometimes stomach pain is part of it. Omnitox will take stomach pain away for me. Valerie's probably going to have to explain to you why that works. But Omnitox, I've just noticed it, and I only need one capsule. One is when there's a stomach pain associated with like starting to feel something, lymph nodes or whatever, it's the Omnitox that will take that away and get me ahead. The signature drinks are huge, especially Cinnamate in our house. Cinnamate in just like Tammy was saying with the Soul Clear SI, opening up the capsules and in a hot tea and whatever she's drinking, you know, Cinnamate is like that for us. Once in a while, it's the opposite. It's opposite day, and it's Renew instead of Cinnamate. I see what I feel like. I'm weird. I'll tell you my biggest weirdness and switch from the family stuff to just me now for a second. I will open up the drawer where Donna keeps all our refills, all 4 of them in the kitchen. And we leave the lids folded down so they're all open, okay, in this drawer. I will, so weird. I'll look at them and touch them. This is just me. And I just sort of see, you know, what I'm feeling like. In the case of, for me personally, because I don't want to miss any work, and that's where I get myself in trouble sometimes. You know, take a half day, Greg, use your brain. But you know, like if I don't want to, I go into, so in one drawer we have the 4 signature drinks, and honestly for me, all 4 have equal chances of being the one I just do. Like I think I heard a couple people say I double up on some of the drinks. I just see the one that resonates, and I'll do one, and I'll bring an extra packet with me, and a little bit later, whenever I feel like it, I'll do a second one. That just has worked so many times for me where it gets me ahead where I need to go, and it's not always the same one. But the nutritionals, they're the other one. I open them up, so Soul Complete, Infatuate, or Avant Greens, they're sitting there. I undo the little seal thing, and I smell them. So I don't stick my hand in them, okay, because other people are using them. But I do open them and I smell them. And a lot, not always, but a lot of times one of them will just be like, oh, like a lot more than I normally want. Like I want this, you know. And that's the one I do. A lot of times hot. I love Valerie's thing of hot. When it has to do with cold and flu. They're actually all good hot. Soul Complete is really good hot. And it's another take the stomach pain away. I love that one hot combined with Soul Clear SI. Love that recipe. I just started the Infatuate hot because of what Valerie, and I haven't tried the one recipe you shared today. But all 3 of those have played a role. The Avant Greens have been like just the thing, just good nutrition, easy to digest, super dense. And you know, my system's used to them because I use them like Val said. I keep myself, I try to, in a position where it just takes a little boost. But yeah, I touch them and I smell them. That's that's my little thing. The oil, same thing. I keep them all where I can, and I do the same thing with them.
So Greg, not to steal your thunder, you're not so weird. That's exactly what I teach everyone, and that's how
That's
I
probably
do
where
the
I
same
got
thing.
it. It's probably where I got it, Val. Good. That means I retained something.
There you go. So, you know, like I said, virtually any of the Solle products can be used this way, even the AC cream, because you guys know that I talk about putting it over the liver. And I do exactly what Greg's talked about. We all have the adaptogenic properties in every single one of these. It's listening to what your body's calling for. It's paying attention to what's going on. It's taking extra if needed, or, you know, shifting what you're diffusing. Any of these have been, can be, and are used to challenge whatever the body's been thrown up against. And they're even more effective when we're taking adaptogens on a regular basis, whichever ones you've put as your basic foundational program. You guys know that I do Vital and Cinnamate every day, along with Versatility and ProBio. And no matter what, those are going in. So you guys know those are my foundation, but there's lots of others that are being done every day as well. So no matter what, am getting those adaptogens in there. Therefore, we have that cleaner fishbowl, and the body can respond faster. And just like you were saying, Greg, with that ProBio, I do have a couple different people, and I even had it written down here, that will take that ProBio hourly and knock things out. So again, the Solle Difference is the adaptogens. They are key. They make the difference, guys.
Hey, Val, before you get to, because your quotes are awesome, I don't want to mess up with them. I thought of one last thing you asked about the question you asked me too, and I forgot. Sorry, I got too excited. But in the Solle Complete,
yes,
do you remember that Blake shared a recent, it was actually a Solle Complete that had been in stock for a while. We didn't want to take a fresh one and just kind of look at various vitamin levels. And he was somewhat surprised to notice 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And the reason I bring it up is because that's just in one serving. Because a lot of people, we used to do those 1,000 milligram tablets, you know, when you feel something coming on, but 3 of those in every serving. And vitamin C is not one of the more stable, keeps forever. I'm just bringing that one up. That's many months down the road, that sample. So you get a typical batch. And maybe that's another reason vitamin C, I'm definitely a big believer in it as well. Complete's really high in it. So, and that's maybe another reason why it's found its way into it's like the exact number, it was 2,900 and something milligrams in this age one. I'm sure it's higher. We'll have to do a fresh one and get you that number.
Excellent. Thanks for bringing that up. Perfect. Yes, and vitamin C, as we all know, is absolutely major in helping the body to deal with colds and flu. So perfect. So I found this great quote, couldn't figure out who actually came up with it, but I really liked it. It says, your body will be around a lot longer than that expensive handbag. Invest in yourself. And this is even better, I think, because it's got the plants coming out of it. So guys, it is, to me, is worth every penny that I spend on, and I'm investing in myself with my health, with having those Solle products available every day. And to me, that's just not an option for me to not have available, because it does allow me high quality of life and to accomplish lots of things. And I have a lot of things that I want to do. So again, investing in myself with something like this, I just think is important. So next week, I am going to focus on ashwagandha, and we'll look at a little bit more of the properties and a couple of the Solle products that it happens to be in. And hopefully you will be joining us next week.